Hey guys, Marsengan here, bringing another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so today we are going to do the team building guide for the STR Ultra Instinct Goku that is coming out on Global tomorrow. So basically, by the time this video is scheduled to go up, which will be around 10 PM UK time, this event will be dropping in 9.5 hours. It's the usual time that events and everything come out on Global, so you should, of course, at this point be used to the timing that is. You can check in the news in the game, of course, because it will list everything in Global in your local time. So if you go into the news and check the section for the countdown celebration, you can see there the details for when this is going to drop in your local time. But as I say, if you're watching the video as soon as it comes out, which is at 10 PM UK time, the event comes out 9.5 hours after this. I will be live doing the EZA on stream when it comes out, and then jumping in and showcasing the Goku with his EZA before we end the stream. So we'll test him out in a few different events and things like that to record videos to go up later in the day. So if you do miss the stream, the showcases will be still going up tomorrow at some point as well. So we are going to jump in, as we always do here with these team building guides, and talk about the top picks and honourable mentions to use on the team. If you do find the guide helpful at all, do hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you are new. We're on the road to 30k subscribers on the channel. The goal is to try and hit that by the end of the anniversary. So it's a big goal, but we can get there. The anniversary always is the peak hype. People coming back to the game and people interested in everything that's going on. And the countdown, having the EZA for a much loved unit, is certainly something that I know a lot of people have been looking forward to. So with every LR EZA, it's only 10 stages, which is nice. So you get 3 stones per stage, you still get 30 stones. There is a mission which is straight up just for beating stage 7, so you get 33 stones in total once you've done the entire thing. And like a normal EZA, there is a category weakness, and these are the units that will take less damage. So Universe Survival Saga characters are ideally what you want to use. They will take reduced damage from the boss. If you bring any non-Universe Survival Saga characters, you can still work them in this event, especially because with LR EZAs, Legendary Power, having that link active, using as many LRs as possible, is how you do the most damage. So you can use non-Universe Survival Saga LRs, but they will take more damage. Even some of the better LRs in the game, like I remember on my JP, which my account is nowhere near as stacked, trying to do this EZA on my JP without a Universe Survival Saga team, even using the 8-year LRs like the GT Duo, who build up damage reduction after they super, still take a large amount of damage. I mean, mine are only 55% on JP, to be fair, but they are taking a large amount of damage even from normals from this guy. So the category speciality definitely does come into play. But damage-wise, Legendary Power is what is going to do the most damage. So if we take a look at the Universe Survival Saga category, there are not a huge amount of LRs that are particularly relevant anymore. But remember, Legendary Power is something that you can use in order to do the extra damage, but it's not necessary for beating the EZA, right? I've done LR EZAs in the past, even some on streams back in the day, without using a single LR on the team. And it is absolutely possible. It just takes a little bit longer because you're not doing the bonus damage. But as you can see, a lot of these LRs, funnily enough, a lot of these LRs are going to get EZAs during the anniversary, right? The AGL UI, Blue Evolution, the physical Blue Kaioken and Blue Evolution. And of course that makes them significantly better, even STR UI Goku himself. But of course we're doing the event to give him his EZA. So let's jump in and take a look at some of the characters. We definitely will be talking about a lot of the TURs as well, because some of them will be very effective for this event, even if they're not going to be doing as much damage as the LRs. So one of the go-tos who's going to be a good leader for the team is the LR Goku and Frieza. Obviously this unit had the highest leader skill in the game before they added in the 200% leads. Technically is still the only leader in the game that gives a category 177%. I know we have some EZA characters now that give 180, so it's not the single highest solo leader skill anymore. But representatives of Universe 7, very good leader for the team. Obviously, you do need to run a full team that is all reps of Universe 7, so you can't use any of the other Universe Survival Saga characters, unless they are tech, of course, and then they will be getting 3 key and 120% attack and defense. So these guys are obviously quite old, you know, they got their EZA like 3 years ago, but still a solid unit for this EZA. They can hit some decently high numbers. We can't use status effects in the EZAs, so part of their kit is kind of locked out, but these guys will make a solid leader and be a fairly decent hitter on the team. They'll be able to take hits, except for potentially supers, pretty much right up until the end of the event, so these guys will be very, very useful. Then we have the AGL UI Goku. So of course we're on the Before Z Awakening tab because he doesn't have his EZA on global yet, but he leads Miraculous Awakening or Reps of Universe 7 for 3 key 170. Of course he does pretty good damage. He has the high chance to crit on his supers, which is cumulative, so if he gets an additional super he guaranteed crits. He has a 70% chance to dodge, so even though he's a little bit outdated now, these LR EZAs aren't the hardest events in the game, and of course he's got the double bonus of everything we want here, that he's in the bonus category and he's also got type advantage. So he has 70% chance to dodge, but realistically he's not going to be taking a huge amount of damage unless maybe we're talking supers on like stage 9 or 10, right, if he isn't dodging. But he'll definitely be very useful. It's very unlikely to see his revival ability because he has to be hit 3 times, which of course with the 70% chance to dodge, it's not super likely by the time you get to the point where you finish the actual phase, right? Because EZA stages usually only take 3 to 4 turns, depending on your team. Obviously, if you're running a lot of TURs, then potentially they are going to take a little bit longer to beat the stage. But this guy obviously will still be very, very useful. He has an active skill as long as your HP is 50% or more starting from turn 4. So obviously on turn 4, you just get a free bit of damage as long as you haven't taken a lot of damage, which can help to end the fight on turn 4. Because also if he's already linked up with another LR and they have enough key at the start of the turn that they have legendary power active, the active skill will do extra damage as well because of the legendary power link. So this guy, very, very good, can make a very good leader. You can also throw in some other AGL LRs that are on Miraculous Awakening, who aren't on Reps of Universe 7, but just be aware, as I said, that they will take more damage. So then we have Blue Evolution Vegeta. Now, for him, post-EZA, when those occur during the 9th anniversary, he becomes incredibly good. But unfortunately, pre-EZA, he's always been a little bit disappointing. He builds up damage reduction within the turn with each hit that he takes, builds up ki, and then he obviously can get his attacks like Goku can do additionals, can get guaranteed crits on the additionals. He has a revival, but he has to be hit 7 times. And with these EZAs, even in the later stages, they're not normally attacking that many times in one slot. So the chances of seeing his revival are fairly low as well. He does have an active skill with the same condition, so turn 4, a little bit of extra damage. And again, with these EZAs not being super difficult, even though he's not really anything impressive defensively nowadays before his EZA, he'll be perfectly fine in this event. Like I say, kind of the same with UI Goku, just without the dodge chance. If he's getting hit by supers in the later stages, then he might take a bit of damage, but he shouldn't be at the point where he's getting one shot, as long as you've got some of these links active and everything for him. So definitely another solid choice. Then we have the AGL LR Kale and Caulifla. These guys are joint forces lead, so they're not really going to be used as a leader. But they're another LR, and they're of course going to be very effective in this event because they get additional supers guaranteed when there's a Universe Survival Saga enemy or a Pure Saiyans enemy, and if there's both, which there is for this event, they get 2 extra supers guaranteed. So these guys will be doing a lot of super attacks in one turn. They're infinitely stacking their defense as well as raising attack on the 12 key supers. They build up dodge chance with each super that they do as well. So these guys will be very, very good in this event. As long as you can have legendary power active for them, then they are going to be able to do a lot of damage. So these guys are definitely worth bringing as long as your leader covers there, because of course they're not Reps of Universe 7. We didn't talk about Vegeta's secondary leader skill, which is Powerful Comeback. So again, you can use other LRs from that team if you want to, but of course remember about the extra damage. So these guys will work on a Universe Survival Saga lead. But we don't really have a lot of the LRs that are rocking that leader skill. They will work very well, of course, if you have AGL Kale and you run them under her leader skill. Now, even though she's a TUR, you can obviously run some LRs on the team because she has a Universe 6 and then Transformation Boost as her main leads, and then Universe Survival Saga or Full Power as the extra 30%. So she can make a decent leader to run a bunch of different characters. Obviously the Universe 7 reps and characters, unless they're on Transformation Boost, are not going to fit on her team. So you have to be aware of that. She can be solid on the team herself, of course, because she's got type advantage. She's in Universe Survival Saga. She's not an LR, but she can get multiple additional supers. She has very good defense after supering. She's not a slot 1 unit, but once she transforms, she can potentially go slot 1. She can transform on turn 4 if there's a Caulifla on the team, or after performing 6 supers. So if you're running LR, Kale and Caulifla, then obviously this will be fairly easy to get. And she can do some decent damage as well as be good defensively. Then, of course, we have the AGL Mr. Boo as a TUR. He's not a great leader, but he's been a unit that for a while was good in easy A's, because for the first couple of turns, 7 turns in fact, he has 300% attack and defense and a 50% chance to dodge. So he can be very, very useful. Of course, you know, if he's getting tagged by supers, then he's not going to be, you know, tanking particularly well. But he is still going to be fairly effective in these early turns, because, as we said, easy A's are not going to go longer than 7 turns. Chances are you won't even see turn 7, right? So this guy will be very, very good. You know, he's still a TUR, so as always with these LR EZAs, you want to run as many LRs as possible, but if you need a final option for the team, he can be very, very good. Very intrigued to see what an EZA for him is going to eventually look like, but there we go. So other AGL characters, we have the blue Vegeta that transforms into blue evolution. So he does have a different name to the Int LR, so you can run them together. He has a pure Saiyans lead if you want to run a combination of like the UI Gokus and then Kale and Caulifla and Kale. They can all fit under his leader skill quite nicely. He raises attack and defense on super, can launch a couple of additional attacks. So he's pretty solid. Again, all of these TURs can be very decent performing, but just remember, in terms of the damage output, you are going to be going a little bit slower overall because they're not getting that bonus legendary power link. And the more TURs you run on the team, the less likely you are to get the LRs that you do put on the team together in your starting rotations to get that legendary power link active. But as I've already said, you can get this done with a full team of TURs easily enough. We have the AGL Caulifla as well. She's got type advantage. She has a chance to dodge. She also has a chance to counter super attacks, which is good. She's got attacks effective against all types when there's a KO in the same turn, but obviously that doesn't really matter too much for this event because she's got type advantage already anyway. So she's a much older unit, very dated now. Her EZA almost 4 years old on global, but she can still be effective if you are running a bunch of the Universe 6 characters and you just want to bring someone else that fits in well with those units. And of course, we can't really mention any EZA against a Universe Survival Saga or Pure Saiyans character without talking about Tech Caulifla, because Tech Caulifla, even pre-EZA, obviously ideal for this event because she has guaranteed dodge against this Goku. So even though she's not an LR, you could run her in slot 1, then ideally have, like, say, LR, Kale and Caulifla next to her, and then have a bunch of other LRs on the team floating so that they and then the Kale and Caulifla in the middle are both getting legendary power active. And then this Tech Caulifla just dodges everything in slot 1 and you don't have to worry about her taking damage at all. And then the LRs in slot 2 and 3 do all of the damage and win you the event, basically. So she's very good. Even if you're running any other build and she doesn't even fit on the leader skill, you can throw her on the team. Especially if you're finding the later stages to be a little bit tougher, you can throw her on the team and she's just a character that you don't need to worry about the fact she's not getting the leader skill bonus or anything like that, because she will literally take 0 damage in this event because she cannot be hit by the enemy UI Goku. So definitely worthwhile including on the team, even if you're running like a full team of reps of Universe 7 LRs or something, and then you can throw her on there as the final unit to be a defensive unit. So then we have the Int Android. So I know a lot of people wouldn't have necessarily summoned for these guys. They've not returned on global yet, of course, but these guys have a very good leader skill. Tournament participants, of course, covers all of the characters from the reps of Universe 7 and the Universe 6 characters that we've talked about. Reps of Universe 7 get the plus 30% and then joined forces as well. So if you wanted to put those reps of Universe 7 LRs and then even like LR, Kale and Caulifla, they would all fit under the 200% leader skill for the Int Androids. So these guys are very, very good as well. They have a unit super attack if you have a Goku in the same turn. So ideally you're going to be running the AGL UI on the team most likely anyway. There's some other Gokus that can potentially be useful and we'll talk about those as well. But these guys can certainly be very, very good. If you're picking up a certain number of key spheres, they give all allies extra attack and defense. It's 7 orbs, but they do give... They are an orb changer, right? So it's harder to get with them, but if you do get it, big bonus for everybody else on the team. Then we have the STR Kefla. So, of course, Kefla, not under the Pure Saiyans leads or anything like the AGL Blue Evolution Vegeta, but, of course, if you're running a Universe 6 team, she's going to be very, very good, even though she is only a TUR. Remember that on her best setups, if she's on the 200% Kale team and she's got some decent links on the rotation, she's starting off even from like her early turns, putting out multiple like 14 to 15 million attack supers straight off the bat. So even without doing the bonus damage from, you know, having legendary power, she's still going to be able to do a lot of damage against this UI Goku boss. So very, very good. Then we have the STR Kaba with his EZA. I know not everybody has the 50% support units with the EZAs. I guess they're the 60% supports now. I'll just forever be used to calling them the 50% supports. But the Kaba and the Hit, they were the ones, I think, out of all the banners when they came back, this was the one worth summoning on, because these two are really, really good. And you can make a Universe 6 build with Kale where you run enough STR units that you can run both of these guys, and then they're getting their passive active, where they're going to have Guard for the first 4 turns because they have the STR allies on the team, and then Kaba will have enough superclass allies on the team that he will get that ability that if you drop to 50% or less HP and he comes onto the turn, he gives you a full field orb change, which can then basically give you a full heal. So if you are finding the later stages a bit tougher, that will be very useful. And then of course the support that he gives to Kefla makes her go absolutely crazy as well. Hit is not really supporting anyone on that team because there's no extreme STR outside of like Frost, but he's not particularly good anyway. But he just fits on the team because he's a solid unit and there's enough STR allies for him to have his guard. So he's worth considering if you're making like a full Universe 6 team. Then we have the LR God Goku and Hit, kind of like an honourable mention here. They do have a Universe Survival Saga leader skill, and of course they are another LR that you can throw on the team to get legendary power active. If you're using them in slot 7, they do get extra key and have an additional attack that has a medium chance to become a super. So they are able to do some decent damage in slot 3. They're not the best defensively anymore, and obviously they're type neutral, so it's not like they're going to be tanking the hits. I mean, they might actually still tank normals for double digits potentially as you get up through the stages, like, because they do greatly raise defense on their 18 key, and then any additionals, because they do have a chance to get one in slot 3 anyway, do raise their defense again. So as long as they're not getting tagged by supers on like stage 10, they could still potentially be very useful. And then last but not least, I wanted to mention Jiren. I probably could have mentioned him earlier because he does have the Universe Survival Saga leader skill as well. Only 3 key 150. He's just a beefy stats unit. When he first came out, that was enough for him to be very effective. Obviously, he's not super great now, but in terms of an LR EZA, where it's not the hardest event in the world, then obviously he's going to be able to do very decently. So there you go. Those are the top picks and honourable mentions. If we take a look back at Universe Survival Saga, actually I completely forgot about the LR Ribrienne trio. These guys are very, very good as well. They themselves have a leader skill, signature pose, or power of wishes, which is not the best for making a full team of Universe Survival Saga. But they're an interesting unit, orb changing. They can hit relatively hard, get relatively good defense. So they are definitely worth a mention here as well. I keep forgetting about them because I don't really ever use them, and Global doesn't have the EZA for the physical Ribrienne yet, who makes a really good like rotation with them. But if you want to try and get as many LRs as possible to have legendary power active, then they can be worth using. I mean, to be honest, we could even really give the STR UI Goku pre-EZA an honourable mention for this event, because even though he won't be particularly strong, he still has a 70% chance to dodge, and he's another LR, so he's creating that extra opportunity to have legendary power active. So potentially still worth considering using him. There's the God Goku from Universe Survival Saga. I guess we could have mentioned the STR Blue Kaioken as well, because he leads reps of Universe 7 and Universe Survival Saga. And then, of course, if you have enough reps of Universe 7 allies, you can use the Spirit Bomb, which will do a decent bit of damage. Not crazy damage because he's not an LR, but it buffs everybody else on the turn as well. So if you can get the Spirit Bomb, if you take a bit of damage, and then you have a rotation where you have this guy and then 2 LRs, the Spirit Bomb will do a decent little bit of damage, and then the 2 LRs with legendary power will be able to do a ton of damage on that turn as well. So I didn't really mention any of the physical units. MVP 17 can still be relatively good because he's a support unit and he's got fairly decent defense. But if he's getting hit by supers, especially in the later stages, then obviously he's going to take a lot of damage. And then even the physical LRs, like Roshi's very outdated at this point unless he's dodging. And then these guys don't have their EZAs until later in the anniversary. And of course, Golden Frieza and 17, have never been good, but I mean, with the Team Universe 7 getting an Easy A on JP this week, maybe these guys will get one soon as well. But of course, that doesn't help us for Global for this event for tomorrow. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. If there's any units you think I missed out or should have talked more about, do let me know down below and let us know what your team build is going to look like for the UI Goku Extreme Z battle. So I will be live tomorrow to do it on stream. Hopefully I will see you guys there. And yeah, we'll be able to get through these 10 stages and start doing some live showcases for UI Goku as well. It's funny for him, of course, because the Reps of Universe 17 is going to get so massively buffed by all the Easy A's and everything during the anniversary. But this guy coming out as like the first one, he's kind of on his own for a little bit, right? Until that team gets the rest of the buffs. But he does have a few other 200% leaders. So we will definitely see what we can do with him once we've Easy A'd him on the stream tomorrow. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.